a shirt I'm wearing? Okay. Do you not see the flipped up brim fitted hat that Agent 89 is wearing? I can lift this table, this chair, break the table. Let's go, Utah!
Just what we expect, right down the middle. That's the kind of game it's going to be. The great Steve Smith, Sr. What a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for being with us, my friend. Growing up that you. Enjoy your college football Saturday. It starts right now. Oh, look at that excitement in Utah. We got some fire here in Dallas, too. We welcome you to the All-State Saturday kickoff. It is homecoming here at SMU as the Mustangs look to stay perfect in American Conference play. Will Tulsa have something to say about that? They come in at 1-2 in the American. Let's take a look at the standings, because there are 3 teams who are still undefeated. But SMU, with their schedule remaining, they have the best chance, according to ESPN predictors, to win the American Conference. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside my partner, former Notre Dame and NFL linebacker. He's Rocky Boyman. I feel safe next to you, man. You lift weights like nobody else. Don Davenport is on the field, and I'm John Triffin. All right, SMU, probably one of the best teams in the group of 5 that really nobody is talking about right now in this country. They're on fire. They've won 3 games in a row. But you don't want to overlook this Tulsa team and get yourself caught looking ahead in the season.
Yeah, well, you're right. They're playing great in all 3 phases right now. They're coming off a 55-0 win over Temple last week. So the question is, does that cause you to go into a little bit of a lull, or do you come out here today and take care of business? We'll see.
Well, a big reason for their success, their first-year starting quarterback, Preston Stone. And this guy, he's been getting better and better as the season goes on.
Look, we've always known about his pedigree, right? He's an exceptional player, but he needed experience. But now here we are, 7 games into the season, over 230 pass attempts. He's really settled into that role and really playing exceptional quarterback right now for SMU.
Well, it was a rough week last week for Tulsa after that loss against Rice. They had a complete team meeting. The coaches were held accountable, all the players were held accountable, and things are changing. Instead of using 2 quarterbacks, they're now going to a 1-quarterback system. Braylon Braxton, he's now the guy.
Yeah, I think Braylon Braxton, that's the way to go. He's big, 6'2", 230 pounds on a wet track like you have today. I think his running abilities could be a real factor.
Our opening kickoff, as SMU has won the toss, they will receive. And a nice return off the opening kickoff, taken just shy of the 25. Don Davenport on the sideline. Don, it has been wet this morning in Dallas.
It finally stopped raining about 20 minutes ago, but John, these large squeegee rollers have been busy pushing water off the field, off this home sideline all morning long. Take a look. This is about 2 hours ago. Yeah, it was pouring. Now, the good news, I just walked the field. There is no ponding water on this field. Head coach Rhett Lashley said as long as it's not currently raining, they'll be fine. Both coaches said they will not change what they do offensively. Ball security, though, that's a focus today.
All right, we like that. Good stuff, Don. Opening snap for SMU. They give it off to the running back, Jalen Knighton, and he maybe gets a yard. The first quarter has been kind to SMU. They come out hot in the first quarter. They've been outscoring opponents. A big reason, Preston Stone.
Yeah, it's such an advantage just jumping on teams early. But you're right, Preston Stone, he's doing great at both aspects of quarterback. Some of those pocket throws, but also he can run around and extend plays and wait for a receiver to get open.
Opening drive of the game for the Mustangs. Oh, 2nd and 9. Stone with plenty of time. He's got a wide receiver. Romello Brinson with some room down that left sideline. A race to the end zone. Touchdown, SMU. A 74-yard touchdown strike from Preston Stone to Romello Brinson.
Well, John, you just talked about fast starts, right? There it is. Lighten them up early. One exceptional play call. Brinson comes from the opposite side of the field, very slow developing play, had a lot of time, and then comes from all the way to the right side to the left sideline. Number 3 is wide open. It's a touchdown.
Colin Rogers is on for the extra point for the Mustangs. And his kick is up and good. 2 plays from scrimmage. And that is the longest play Tulsa has allowed from scrimmage all season long, 74 yards.
And you can tell Rhett Lashley and company saw something during their week of film study and said, hey, we can light this team up early. If we bring across a wide receiver from one side of the field all the way to the other, and Brinson was wide open, and Preston Stone put it on the money.
Tulsa has now allowed opponents to score. 7 of 8 opponents have scored on their first drive of the game against this Tulsa defense.
Yeah, it's just tough starts. I mean, we'll talk about them offensively. They get off to a slow start themselves with the turnovers, but boy, SMU, you see that stat right there, and I know Rhett Lashley loves it.
Kevin Wilson, first-year head coach for Tulsa, has not been pretty the first quarter. If they can just get through this first quarter, then the other 3 quarters, they've been holding themselves fine with the rest of the teams, but the first quarter, 12 turnovers. 12
turnovers. Every football team at every level, Pop Warner, high school, whatever, talks about, we got to get off to a fast start, and they just haven't this year. The turnovers cannot be a factor today.
Colin Rogers will kick things away. Jordan Ford looks to find a seam, and he is popped as soon as he gets to the 20. Brought down at the 21, a return of 14. Well, we talked about it. 2-quarterback system for most of the season. They used 3 quarterbacks at one point due to injuries, but the original starter, Braylon Braxton, is back, and this is now his team.
Yeah, he's done some exceptional things this year, minus some of the interceptions and things we've talked about, but I think he's gained some experience in the last couple weeks. You see he's a big kid. You know, can really run that ball. And a guy his size and his athleticism is always just one little crease, one guy out of a gap away from breaking a long one.
A lot of kids from Texas on this roster. And as Braxton from Frisco, Texas. First snap, we'll hand this one off to Anthony Watkins. He's the bigger of their running backs. No gain there on first down. 5'11", 210. He's the best protector. He's the strongest guy, and you're going to feel him when you hit the hole.
Yeah, and look, Kevin Wilson, you know about his history. He likes to run the ball when he was at Oklahoma, Ohio State, wherever it is. So you're going to see a lot of rush attempts today.
Screen pass to the outside. That's complete to Caden Benjamin. That's their go-to receiver. Nice run after the catch. Picks up 6.
We do got to mention Tulsa is without one of their best wide receivers, Marquise Shoulders. He won't play today, but Benjamin's a good player. Devin Williams, a nice tall target for Braylon Braxton as well.
We've also been told that running back Taj Gary is out with a knee injury as well. So down a few weapons on offense for the Golden Hurricane. Let's see what Braylon Braxton can do. 3rd and 4 coming up. Quick pass to the outside, back to Benjamin. And Benjamin has enough for the first down. They don't have the biggest receivers, but they find a way to get them in places where they can be effective.
Yeah, and that's just an extension of the run game, right? There's little quick passes out to the sideline. There's RPOs. Kevin Wilson is one of the originators of the RPO offense. He does it really, really well. They get a first down there.
Braxton out of shotgun. He's going to run himself. Finds a seam, lowers the shoulder, and a good gain of 9 on first down as Isaiah Wachovia brings him down.
Well, SMU better get ready for that. A lot of quarterback run. Did a nice job of pulling the H-back Ethan Hall around, and then Braylon Braxton runs right behind him. Boom, one little cut. He's into the second level.
So an early timeout as SMU on defense wants to talk things over. We're going to step aside. SMU with a 7-0 lead. Tulsa with their first possession on offense. We'll be back.
Sometimes Jonah wrestles with falling asleep, so he takes ZQuil.
7-0 over Tulsa here in Dallas. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Homecoming as the Mustangs. The fans who have arrived early are loving it. Last season to this season, you look at the comparison. This defense for SMU, man, have they stepped up.
It's been an incredible turnaround. I think the single biggest reason why they're in the spot they're in right now, they bring in a bunch of transfers, a bunch from Miami, and they kind of gelled with some of those veteran stalwarts like Elijah Chapman and company.
On the ground, this is Watkins. And Watkins will be actually pushed back. He loses 2. That was a good push by that defensive front for SMU.
Yeah, John, that's what they do. They come downhill on you now, right? They're attacking. This is not a unit that's going to sit back and wait for you to make the first move. They're going to make the first move.
So maybe that timeout worked on defense. They called it. They drew up the right play, and now it'll be a 3rd and 3 coming up for the Golden Hurricane.
I think Elijah Chapman, big factor in that D-line.
Braxton, quick throw to the outside, Benjamin, and it's going to be close. Where they spotted, he's going to be just short. It looks like 4th down. Cale Sanders with a nice tackle.
Cale Sanders made an exceptional play, fighting through all that trash and finding a way to get Benjamin on the ground.
And the offense stays on the field. Rocky, what do you think about this?
I think this, you know what, normal circumstances I would say no, but this team needs to get started faster, right? This is kind of a do-or-die situation, but I like this call here by Kevin Wilson in this situation.
Tulsa on 4th downs this season 7 for 12. Here's Braxton, keeps it himself, and he doesn't get it! Braxton taken down from behind by Ahmad Walker. Whoa!
Wow, and there's one of those transfers, John. Ahmad Walker from Liberty. Huge addition at linebacker for this SMU defense. You see him there. And just what any good linebacker does. Reads it, sorts through the trash, and then hits it. Doesn't hesitate, and that's a big boy to bring down. Braylon Braxton at 225 pounds. An exceptional defensive play there for SMU.
Rocky, it looked like that was an easy 1st down.
It did, yeah. It looked like he had the corner, and this was going to be moving the chains times, but boy, Ahmad Walker came flying in.
So a turnover on downs. SMU will start from the 41. That's a run with L.J. Johnson. He's the Texas A&M transfer, and he gets 1 on 1st down.
I still think that was the right call, but the right decision by Tulsa. It just didn't work out for him. You give the ball to your quarterback, and just wasn't able to make a play.
3 wide receiver set, and they hand it off again as Johnson runs over the left side. He picks up 3.
As we talked about Tulsa turning the ball over a lot early, SMU has been the complete opposite. They've had just 2 turnovers in the last 3 games total, so they're doing a good job so far taking care of the ball here recently.
First 3rd down of the ball game for the Mustangs. As L.J. Johnson, the wide receiver, now goes out to the left on the bottom of your screen. Empty backfield for Preston Stone. Now he calls Johnson back in to meet him. Third and 6. They send the blitz. Stone's pass is incomplete. That was good pressure. They were looking for Jake Bailey.
Good job by Stone bringing running back in for protection, but well covered by Tulsa. And now here's SMU in kind of that no man's land situation. It's like they're going to go for it.
On the season on 4th downs, SMU is 8 for 13.
Going to find the tight end Maryland. He's in the slot at the bottom.
4th and 6. Send the blitz again. Looking deep. That's to Maryland. He's got it. The tight end double covered, and it doesn't matter. That was 4th down, Rocky.
What a risky call on 4th and 7. A deep ball to the tight end running to the sideline, but Preston Stone is just feeling it. And look, you got a target like that, it just got to be in the vicinity. RJ Maryland's going to come make a play.
They rush quickly. They get it down to the 1. That's Johnson. And SMU, they're not messing around here in this first quarter.
And they're bringing the beef in here too, John. They're bringing another tight end. They're bringing running back Tyler Levine in. Fullback.
There's Levine with the carry. He's in there. Touchdown. After their defense got the stop, the offense punches it in. It's been all SMU in this first quarter.
Well, it doesn't look so far that SMU is resting on their laurels from beating Temple 55-0 last week. They came out today smoking, and just a lot of great individual plays have made it happen. Great play on defense by Ahmad Walker. Maryland's catch.
Rogers' extra point is good. 14-0. And it's been quick.
And I think every quarterback, John, needs a go-to guy. You got to have that guy you go to when the chips are on the line. And that guy is R.J. Maryland. He makes a great catch. SMU leading here big early.
Some people just know what road to take. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
The service road is faster.
Turn left.
Not happening.
He knows better than any GPS, and he'd point you in Allstate's direction.
Go all the way down the road past the big gray warehouse.
Take the next exit.
You're not from around here, so you don't know the back roads.
I don't want to be late for the party.
I'm gonna save us 5 minutes.
Some people just know what road to take.
You're on the fastest route.
Those are the people who know safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
If you struggle and struggle and struggle with CPAP, you should check out Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
At Cracker Barrel, 'tis the season for holiday traditions and cinnamon rolls turned pie. Our cinnamon roll pie breakfast is warm, gooey, glazed, and starts at just $8.99. And try our turkey, crispy and country fried. Cracker Barrel, take care now.
A car like this shouldn't exist. Something this big, this luxurious, shouldn't move like a Mazda. And yet, it does.
Oh my God, it sounds epic as well. This car is an SUV with bragging rights.
The 3-row Mazda CX-90.
To give your teeth a dentist clean feeling, start with a round brush head, add power, and you've got Oral-B. Round cleans better by surrounding each tooth to remove 100% more plaque for a superior clean. Oral-B, brush like a pro.
The Allstate Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
$14-0. SMU leads this one on homecoming here in Dallas. Tulsa will get the ball back. So on the first drive for Tulsa, they went for it on 4th and short. They did not get it. It led to a touchdown for SMU. Let's see what they do here on their second possession, as Rogers will kick this one away, as a fair catch will be called for. R.J. Maryland. Talk about needing a receiver to step up. This tight end has been special. Coming into the game, last 3 games, he's had 3 touchdown catches.
Yeah, we've talked about early in the season for SMU, do they need a go-to guy? I think every quarterback needs that person, and why not let it be your tight end, who's 6'4" and 245 pounds. Just a nice sized target. Yeah, last 3 weeks has touchdowns. Was close to getting a touchdown there on that great 4th and 1 reception. He is really, really playing well.
Braxton, quarterback keeper. He is upended. Ahmad Walker again. Man, he is like a missile at that linebacker spot.
Ahmad Walker is just playing great right now. That's a hard duty right there, playing that zone read where that quarterback is reading someone. He's going to either give it or pull it. Picked the right one. Made a nice tackle.
2nd and 9. Braxton will keep it, throwing on the run, and a nice catch to the sideline. That's Devin Williams, a gain of 16.
Let's not be fooled. Braylon Braxton can whip this thing around too. That was a nice throw, the outside part of the field on the run. Kevin Wilson said before the game, he said, we're going to have to throw the ball. We can't be conservative because SMU can score a lot. Well, that's turned out to be the case, so they definitely have to put the ball in the air today.
Ball on their own 41. On 1st down, Braxton, he'll step up in the pocket, and that's what he does. He is elusive. He's the best runner of their 3 quarterbacks, and he can just make something happen. He picks up 9.
And, John, he was a shoestring away from taking this thing the whole way. There was nobody in the middle of the field He tucks this thing. And if he breaks that tackle there, he could be off to the races. SMU has got to, priority number one, stop Braxton running today.
This is a handoff to Anthony Watkins, and Watkins has enough for the first down as they enter into SMU territory. Well, this looks similar to their first drive, where they were able to move the ball until they were stalled out on 4th down. They can move. They've been effective with Braylon Braxton, but they find themselves down 14.
And this is what's important. I mean, obviously, you got to score some points here, but then if you can do this all day, where just hold those possessions and keep pressing stone that offense on the sideline, it's good.
Braxton is sacked. Elijah Roberts. He's the leader on that defensive front. A loss of 7.
5th sack of the year. Coming off that offense's left side, little twist game. Comes underneath, and just a nice little individual effort, little club and swim move. Boom, right in on the quarterback.
Senior out of Miami with a big sack. Sets up 2nd and 17. Braxton, quick pass to the outside. Williams with the catch, but because the throw was off the mark, didn't give him a chance to run after the catch.
Haven't had much yards after the catch here today. Good throw.
They pick up 5, and now they go with a little tempo on 3rd and 11. Braxton airing it out. He's got a man. Got him. Devin Williams over his shoulder, catches it, falling out of bounds. What a grab.
And it looked like Charles Woods, the cornerback, just kind of got lost, got turned around, didn't know where the receiver was. Devin Williams, nice little head fake move. And the ball's in a perfect spot, the outside part of the field where the defensive back can't recover.
The red zone now. Keeper for Braxton, and this play is blown dead as we have a flag on the far side of the field. Looks like a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 87. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's our referee, Kevin Randall. Our replay official today is Mark Lawson.
Tulsa rotates in 3 fresh bodies. They bring in Ethan Hall, the tight end and best blocker. They're going to go an empty formation here.
So 1st and 15 from the 17. Braxton, quarterback keeper all the way, and look who it is again, Ahmad Walker. He is just racking up tackles. No, excuse me, that's Kobe Wilson with the tackle. That's after a gain of 4.
This is one where you count the numbers in the box. You spread the defense out. You see the middle of the field, a lot of running room. But look at the linebacker just come off the block and make the play. Kobe Wilson, that's what you got to do. Fight off those blocks and make a tackle for no gain.
Braxton on 2nd and 11, flushed, and they got him again. 2nd sack on this drive. This time it's Isaiah Smith, a loss of 4.
It was like a delayed blitz. He looked like he was going to drop into coverage. The tackle turned his attention away. He just came in. Wow.
Third and 15 for the Golden Hurricane. Braxton looking end zone, and he threw it over his receiver, Devin Williams, who was double covered.
Good job by Wakobi of the safety 23, covering a lot of ground to get over that ball, trying to fit that ball in that tight corner. And leaving your receiver's ribs exposed a little bit there too. Nice defensive effort there.
So that was the first incompletion of the game for Braylon Braxton. I'll bring on the kicker, Chase Meyer, who is perfect 8 of 8 on the season. This one would be from 35. Meyer, the Penn transfer. His kick is up. And he stays perfect on the season, a perfect 9 for 9. As Tulsa gets on the board. 14-3, SMU leads it here in the first.
Florida State, Wake Forest, today at noon on ABC.
On a devastating.
Alongside Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport on the field. I'm John Schriffen. As SMU looking to stay perfect here in American Conference play. Tulsa will kick it off and give it back to the Mustangs. Bringing it out is Roderick Daniels. And he crosses the 25. He's eventually brought down. Dawn.
Preston Stone coming out. How about his confidence right now, guys? When I spoke to him this week, I could hear it. He sounded like a completely different quarterback than when we talked last month after their TCU loss. Of course, you got to remember this is just his 8th start. He said Rhett Lashley really knows now what he likes to execute. The source of that confidence has kind of been those routine throws, guys. He still has his aggressive moments. We saw it on 4th and 6, right? The shot downfield. But it's the throws in between that he feels so much more comfortable with right now at this point in the season.
That's a great call, Don. It's also the coordinator has to get used to how he plays and what he does best.
Jordan Curley. He'll be brought down immediately by Nunu Campbell for a gain of 4.
Every day I feel like I'm reminded of the importance of experience. There's just absolutely no substitute for it. You see a nice couple of drives put together by that man, Preston Stone.
2nd and 6, they go to the ground. Knighton is met immediately, stopped at the 35. Picked up 3. That last drive by Tulsa felt big because the offense starts out 2 touchdowns for SMU, and you know they're on fire.
Right, and it wasn't easy. They got sacked twice and behind the sticks a couple times, but it was important, I believe. I agree. At least got 3 points out of that thing, get some confidence.
Now can your defense, if you're Tulsa, get off the field here now on 3rd and 3? Four-man rush. Stone with time, picks him apart as he throws over the middle and completes it to Roderick Daniels. When you give Preston Stone that kind of time, he's going to pick it up all day, gains 12.
And that was great. The initial look was R.J. Maryland, which Tulsa knew. Calmly checks off to the next receiver, 1st down.
Quick throw to the outside with Curley. Curley, he is upended as he crosses over and spotted down at the 45.
You see, he's looking for Maryland. He's covered. Nope, going to come back across. Roderick Daniels, no hesitation. He knows where his receivers are. Excellent play.
2nd down. Stone, all kinds of time, and he's got his wide open man, Jordan Curley. It takes a couple defenders to bring him out of bounds. Knocked out at the 26. He picked up 19.
Great route concept. Tulsa had essentially 3 defenders over there, 2 wide receivers. Got them all mixed up.
And the Mustangs continue to put their foot on the gas. Handoff is to Knighton, and he just gets tripped up by Colton Smith. Man, he had a lane. He'd still be running.
This SMU offense, yes, they throw the ball and put up points and score early, but they got a nice dedicated run game is a nice compliment.
SMU now in the red zone. Back to Knighton. And Knighton like a bowling ball, just banging off of dudes.
Outside zone, let them linemen work to the right. Patient, and then just find a crease and hit it. Turn it upfield north-south. Great job by Knighton.
There's Knighton pushing everybody, stretching. Touchdown, SMU. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. This one capped off by an 11-yard touchdown run.
Both phases right. Pass game, we've seen it be electric today. Then also the run game, John, takes over on this drive. A couple nice runs by Knighton, some great blocking. He's just picking his whole patient and then finds the cutback lane, breaking tackles. Wow, SMU offense rolling.
Rogers kicks it through. 21-3, and we are still here in the first quarter.
And I really believed watching all week this Tulsa defense. I thought they were a good unit. They're just out on the field too much because of all the turnovers their offense has had. But right now, Preston Stone and company really taking them to task.
We talked about how much of the conversation across the country has been about Tulane when you talk about the American Conference. But according to ESPN analytics, SMU actually has the best chance to win the American Conference. That's because of the way their schedule plays out. UTSA and Tulane, they have to play each other. Memphis, though, still waiting on the schedule for SMU.
Yeah, and then Memphis, they have one conference loss. And SMU next week plays a Rice team that I think is playing really, really well. So it won't be easy, but I think things are lining up. They can keep playing like this.
Highest scoring first quarter so far this season for SMU. They put up 21 already. There are 2 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Ford, the deep man, he'll return this one from the 4. Reversing course over the left side, and he won't even get to the 20. Brought down at the 17. Coming up at 3:30 Eastern on ABC, 7th-ranked Texas. They'll be hosting BYU. We cap the day with Coach Prime in Colorado at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, squaring off against the balanced rushing attack and the stingy D of number 23, UCLA.
Texas could have a different signal caller today. Who's it going to be? Maybe see some Arch Manning today. How about that?
Watkins on the run over the left side. Kind of dawn.
Tulsa's Kevin Wilson coaching his tail off down here, guys. Rearranged the offensive bench seating, put Braylon Braxton right in the middle, got all of their attention, said, listen, our quarterback is seeing the rush. We've got some open receivers, but our quarterback needs to find them.
All right, let's see if the adjustment works here on their third drive. Here's Braxton as he will dive forward, brought down after a gain of 3. This was a huge off week for Tulsa after a loss to Rice. The second half was really the big part for Tulsa and their coaching staff. They felt like when they looked at the tape, they didn't see much effort from their guys. And some of the players came to Coach Wilson and said, hey, can we have a players-only meeting? He said, no, I want everyone to meet as a team, staff, players included, and everyone got a little piece of it.
Yeah, they got together and watched that film together, and that can be a lonely feeling because if you make a mistake, not just your position group, but your entire team sees it. Doesn't do well for your feelings, but it's good for accountability. He thinks I can help him this year.
Timeout. Tulsa. That is their first. It'll be 30 seconds.
And, you know, also the coaches, as you mentioned, John, were in that meeting. And it's like, hey, why'd you call that play there, right? Or why'd you call that protection? So not just the players, but also the coaches. Accountability.
And Kevin Wilson, in his first year as a head coach, he wanted to let his guys know that I'm going to be accountable as a coaching staff as well.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like, we need to call the plays to put the players in the best position as well. I don't want you guys to think you're on an island and it's just about what you're doing on the field. It's our fault as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing in those team film sessions is there's a lot of dialogue going back and forth here. So a position group can say, hey, wait, I don't feel comfortable with that play in this situation. Braylon Braxton can say, hey, in this situation, I like this better. The communication can be much, much better.
Kevin Wilson at 62 years young. He's a former head coach at Indiana. His last stop was offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Here he is in his first year at Tulsa. 3rd and 5. Braxton rushed, tipped, and it's picked off! Interception, looking for a pick 6 to the house! Isaiah Wacobia, the pick 6 for SMU, off of the deflection from Ahmad Walker.
And we've talked about the first quarter turnovers, John, being the detriment of this team. And this is of the deadliest type, a pick 6.
Walker, the linebacker, he's been active. Got his hands on it, tipped it in the air for Wacobia to run it in. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Hey, club takeaway time. Rodgers, his extra point is up and good. 28-3. If you don't know how good SMU is, they're going to let you know.
That's right. In this defense, they show a pressure look, going to bring the house, and they drop a couple guys out. That's Ahmad Walker. How many plays has he made today? You see that? See number 34 up on that line. You're thinking he's coming. Boom, he drops out, gets his hand on the ball. And then the Wakobe of Johnny on the spot. It's a party. Wow, this team's having fun.
All right, how did Club Takeaway even start? I mean, what is Club Takeaway? For more on that, we send it to Dawn.
I got the inside scoop, guys. It started back in 2018. You remember when the turnover chain was really popular?
Oh, how do we forget?
Yeah, SMU players decided that they wanted to do something different and bougie. I mean, this is SMU after all, right? Elijah Chapman said that the conversation was, what's the bougiest way we can celebrate on the sideline? Here you go. They came up with the club, complete with bottle service, popping bottles. I'm an honorary VIP member. I put myself in there.
God, I'm sorry. I'm dying laughing. That's the best.
Bougie was my favorite word that they used.
Look at that.
Come on, Rocky. You spent some time in the NFL. You know what it's like to pop some bottles.
That was before cell phone cameras, though, John, thankfully.
Well, it has been a party for homecoming here in Dallas. SMU will kick things away. And a fair catch is called for. Who are the contenders for a New Year's Six bowl game out of the group of 5? Air Force right now is leading the pack. But don't forget about SMU. Even with 2 losses, and their 2 losses were tough ones against big teams. We talk about TCU and Oklahoma. But they can run the table down the stretch. I
think they can. As we mentioned, their schedule. You know, they play Memphis here in a couple weeks, and then Rice obviously next week. Still some tough games, but I really think if they play like they are today, in literally all 3 phases, who's going to stop them?
And remember, you have to be a conference champion to qualify for that bowl game. Handoff is to Bill Jackson, his first carry of the game. If you're Tulsa, what can you do to stop this momentum for SMU?
I think it just comes down to, at this point, you're saying, look, don't look at the scoreboard. Let's just focus on executing, focusing on doing our jobs, try to put some good drives together. You can't get caught up in the point total right now. Still a lot of football to be played here. Kevin Wilson's been in many of these situations. He's not going to blink.
That's the end of the first quarter.
That'll do it. SMU, their highest first scoring of the season. They win it 28-3.
The thin, sweet bite to end the night. Oreo Thins.
Let me show you what goes on behind the scenes when making a Shaq-a-Roni.
Bust.
We created Shaq-a-Roni my way, an extra-large pizza topped with extra cheese and extra pepperoni. It's a simple recipe. We take everything you love, then we build it bigger. Pizza gets bigger when you Shaq-a-Roni.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Welcome to talk with you again. Because a vision saw me creeping. Left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound. Within the sound of silence.
What does human talent look like?
Just go on Fiverr. See for yourself.
Imagine working with them.
Yeah, imagine that.
This is the beginning of a new era.
With Tulsa head coach Kevin Wilson. Coach, I just saw you spend a lot of time with your quarterback. What was your message to him?
Well, again, trying to force a play to a guy who wants to versus reading the coverage, taking what's there. They've started out well. We've given up some big plays. We gave up a pick. We gave up a short field. But bottom line, we just got to keep playing hard, keep learning how we need to play and take care of the ball, and not try to make a play, but play as a team.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Don, good stuff. 28-3, SMU leads it as we start this third quarter. Incomplete pass. Now they gave up that short field because of that, we do have a penalty flag. In the first drive of the game, Tulsa decided to go for it on 4th down, did not get it. And SMU has made them pay on every mistake.
Pass interference. Defense, number 13. The ball being placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
Jalen Davis Robinson called for the flag.
Yeah, he had pretty good grip of the wide receiver with no attention on the quarterback at all there.
Well, Tulsa's got to be glad to get out of the first quarter. It has not been kind to them this season as Bill Jackson slips, and that'll be no gain.
And that's the thing, though. I mean, any competitor out there, when things aren't going good, you push, right? And you press, and you start doing some things and try to go into plays that aren't there. And I think that's what happened to Braxton in that last. He's got to stay calm, play within the offense here.
2nd and 11 out of the shotgun, fake the screen. Now Braxton trying to make something happen. Eventually gets rid of it to call Chester. And Chester will be brought down at the 40.
SMU defense is just all over the place. You hardly see a play where there's not 4 or more guys in the screen flying around.
A 4 wide receiver set now on 3rd and 7 for the Golden Hurricane. Braxton pressured, steps up in the pocket, but delivers it short. He one-hopped his receiver, Chester.
Good job of stepping up in the pocket as the pressure was coming from the outside. Just short-hop Chester.
Talk about the quarterback issues they've had this season. Braxton started the first game, had a high ankle sprain. He got knocked out. Cardell Williams started the second game. He got injured. Roman Fuller started the third game. They've used 3 quarterbacks this season for Tulsa.
In that time where Braxton was out, it just, again, you lose experience. And now you're back in there, you're healthy, but can't get those games back.
It has been all Mustangs here so far in Dallas. Late in the season, they've got to see how things play out. They watch all the games, all 13 committee members. They put a lot of time and effort into these rankings. Handoff on the first play of this drive. L.J. Johnson with the explosion picks up 12.
A vertical run out of SMU. Starting things off right as they have most of the day.
Run again with L.J. Johnson. So many times you beat down a team 55-0. It can go south. You can start feeling yourself a little bit. People are starting to talk about you a little bit. Your defense is playing well. Your offense is playing well. There's been no letdown from SMU.
There hasn't. But you're right. You win 55-0. Things get kind of glossed over. Oh, well, we'll make that block next time. Well, no, you still got to be cognizant of things you got to do better, and they are.
Preston Stone downfield. What a catch. Keyshawn Smith made the adjustment at the ball, and he beat his man, Nunu Campbell, for 36.
What a great job by Keyshawn Smith. I mean, Preston Stone knows, look, I just got to throw it up in the area, and I know my receiver's going to make a play. Times it up right. Great play.
Johnson with a run straight ahead on 1st down, picks up 5.
See this tempo at SMU. It's relentless.
2nd and 5. Stone looking to throw to the right side of the field, and he threw it short of his receiver, Jordan Hudson. You know, one thing that Rhett Lashley, head coach for SMU, also talked about the health of his team. His running backs are getting healthier. His offensive linemen are getting healthier. That has helped Preston Stone develop as the season goes on.
Well, and also, just as we've talked about how well their defense is playing, Preston Stone doesn't feel like he's got to be Superman on every play. But you're right. I mean, health is so key, especially as teams are trying to make that big push down the stretch here.
Ball on the 25. It's 3rd and 5. Stone slings it, almost a one-handed catch, but Curley couldn't bring it in. 4th down.
A little Patrick Mahomes sidearm action there out of Preston Stone, just a little bit off.
So the first drive for SMU that did not end in a touchdown, as Colin Rogers will come on to attempt a 42-yard field goal. Rogers kicked on the way, and he got it. 3 more points for SMU, 31-3, and we got a ton of time left here in this first half.
Meet the Jennifers. Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. Each planning their future through the Chase mobile app. Gen X is planning a summer in Portugal with some help from JP Morgan Wealth Plan. Let's go, Whiskers. Gen Y is working with a banker to budget for her birthday. You only turned 30 once. And Gen Z, her credit's golden. Hello, new apartment. 3 gens getting ahead with Chase. Solutions that grow with you. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
I'll deal with this tomorrow.
You won't.
It's ripe in here.
My eyes are watering.
Look how crusty this is. It's just too much.
Not with this.
Good advice.
When stains and odors pile up, it's got to be Tide.
With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers across the country, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care. Here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders. Right now at Napa, get a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil for only $19.99. Or claim a $25 Visa card when you purchase a Napa Legend, Napa Legend Premium AGM, or AAA battery.
Let's go.
Everything they've tasted until now was just practice for this.
Oh my goodness gracious.
These are the 2 sauces, sweet and spicy jam, and the mambo.
Look how that thing drizzle on there.
The way it's glistening, stop. Oh my.
Sweet and spicy jam and mambo sauce are on the McDonald's menu for a limited time.
Oh my goodness.
What does human talent look like?
Just go on Fiverr. See for yourself.
Imagine working with them.
Yeah, imagine that.
The playoff race is so wide open.
Who's going to survive the gauntlet? College football playoff top 25, Tuesday on ESPN.
It all goes down Halloween night, the first top 25 of the season. We welcome you back here to Dallas alongside my partner, Rocky Boyman. I'm John Shriffen. Dawn Davenport's on the field. As we wait for the first top 25 for the college football playoff ranking of the season, I want you to give us your top 6. Who do you think early on in the season?
Well, we're going to get them here right now, but I think Michigan right now, and I know they're a little bit in the news right now for some other reasons, but I think they've been consistently dominant all year round. You know, 31 points, 52 points a couple weeks ago. I like Georgia a lot, but no Brock Bowers moving forward here. That's a big question mark. I think Ohio State has 2 of the best wins in college football this year with Notre Dame and Penn State.
Okay. How about Dawn? Let's get your top 6. What do you think?
Okay, you guys know that I've been an FSU fan all season long. I'm high on them, 41.6 points per game. So I have them in the 2 spot. I think Ohio State clear cut for me with those quality wins. And Michigan just doesn't have any quality wins. They lead the nation in scoring margin, but against who? So right now, I actually have Michigan in the 3 spot, Georgia 4, Oklahoma and Washington just out of it. But it brings up strength of schedule, Shriff. And I'm curious how the committee views strength of schedule.
first down, Braylon Braxton. They will run it with Anthony Watkins. Okay, so recently I actually got the chance, and we do have a penalty flag, so I'll wait on that story.
There is no foul on the play, second down.
All right, so I also put in my little picks. I got my top 6, and we were talking about Michigan and where should they be.
Wow.
All the way at the bottom. No respect. You have to play somebody to get in the top 4. It is Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State, and Washington. It has been said.
There you go. I don't know. We'll see.
Michigan's got a big game
here.
out there. You can
Bless your Twitter feed.
light up Twitter all you want. I'm not going to look at it. Jalen Davis-Robinson with the interception. Get that club takeaway going. We about to be popping bottles.
Look at this sideline.
It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. I'm surprised no clubs in Dallas have sponsored this yet. In the NIL world, I would be all over this thing.
And that's really been maybe the one part of this defense that's been a little bit lacking all year. They come into this game with just 5 takeaways, and they get 2 today. It's a great job reading the ball, patience, making the play when it's there. That's great cornerback coverage right there.
First down, Preston Stone pressured, gets rid of it to a wide open R.J. Maryland, still on his feet. Maryland to the house, touchdown. A 62-yard connection. There has been no let up from SMU on homecoming.
I'll tell you what, for whatever reason, the play designs in this offense is getting Preston Stone wide open wide receivers. If you're Tulsa, you got to know where number 82 is at all times.
Rogers' extra point is up and good. One play, 62 yards, 10 seconds, but it was set up by club takeaway, the interception.
It's so key. If you got a defense that can get the ball back to your offense, and look at the smiles on that sideline. Takeaways are huge in college football. Would you say, John, it's a party? Sure is. Here today in Dallas.
In this second quarter, they forced 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and they have made them pay twice, paying off for 2 touchdowns. So fair catch called for. Tulsa will come back out on offense. When you look at the top 15 teams in the country and top scoring defense and offense, SMU is right up there with the big dogs in the country.
Yeah, how about that? It's fantastic. You know, it takes all 3 phases, as we've discussed. Defense, we've seen today with the takeaways, and then the offense. It's one thing to get the takeaways, it's another thing to get the points off the takeaways. They're doing it here.
Well, this is our second time calling an SMU game. We had them home again when they played Charlotte. We'll have them next week on the road at Rice. And first down, there's a quarterback keeper by Braxton. We know how good this SMU team is. If the rest of the country doesn't know, did you think they would have this kind of start?
I did not. I thought Tulsa, I felt, you know, in talking to Kevin Wilson and company, I thought they had a good plan. I thought, you know, they get the all-team film session together, and it looks like they can turn the tables a little bit. But same thing, though. They had the first quarter, you know, turnovers, and it just really set them off on the wrong foot.
2nd and 3, Braxton looking to run again. Cannot get to that edge. Jonathan McGill tracked him down. That's going to be a loss of 3.
SMU knows what they got to stop. They got to stop the quarterback run. Make Tulsa win another way, and they're not letting them win the way they want at all.
Press coverage on the outside for SMU coming up on 3rd and 6. Braxton will run it again, and that hole closed up by Elijah Roberts. Already has a sack today. Brings down the quarterback after a gain of 2.
And what SMU is doing is they're running some twist games, and they're just being really active up front. You see Roberts there off to the side. He's going to come upfield, but then come right underneath. And that rush lane that was there for a split second is no longer there. Just number 5, Elijah Roberts.
First 3 and out today for Tulsa. All 3 plays on that drive were runs by Braxton. Now you got to watch out for Roderick Daniels. Ran back a kick on a punt last week. Has a chance to return this one. Makes the first guy miss, but he is brought down shy of the 20. It is time now for the All-State Good Hands play. And you got to go back to the 2 interceptions in the first half here.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tulsa defense. I mean, just doing a great job. They show the pressure look. They drop the linebacker, Walker out, house call, and then the cornerback, Davis Robinson on the outside. That's a long time to cover someone, but he still finds a way to find the ball, and then there's club takeaway. Popping bottles on the sideline.
We see slot machines in Vegas for UNLV, the turnover chain in Miami, but club takeaway, this is one of my favorite.
Previous play is under further video
When
review.
your defense is smiling like that,
targeting.
with this much time left to play in the first half, you know it's been a good game already.
Tell you what, I played defense my whole life, and you know, when you're having a game like this, getting the takeaways, man, it's just there ain't no better feeling. I think they may be looking at the film here for a potential targeting call.
So this was on the last punt return. Ooh.
See, but the thing is with that is Daniels has already established himself as a runner. The only way it could be targeted is if he used the crown of his helmet, the top of his helmet. And I can't tell from that angle. There's like a 6-inch halo on the top of his head that, let's see if we can see here.
The question is, once he's wrapped up, is he defenseless with his back to the incoming player?
Now, like, he's still going to the ground when that defender makes contact with him, so I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just a matter of, do they determine it was the crown of his helmet is what made the call. It doesn't matter that he was hitting the head because he's established himself as a runner at that point.
So referee Kevin Randall talking to replay official Mark Lawson.
Intent doesn't matter. I understand that, but I don't think that defender had any intent of trying to spear him. It's just a bang play. I always hate to see when guys get thrown out of the game for just trying to make a football play, but that's the way it is.
So clearly this one is not cut and dry because of the time they're taking with this. A lot of targeting calls.
Yeah, they're trying to determine, you know, and again, we're talking centimeters, millimeters of how far up or down on that helmet that they determined he was.
Now, the reason for targeting, and it's been such an emphasis over these past few years, is for player safety. Yeah. Not just the offensive player, but also the defensive player.
Which is, you know, there's that second part of that rule where you can't use the crown of your helmet. And that, you're right, John.
There
That's
is no
for the
foul
defense.
for targeting. First down, SMU.
So no foul for targeting.
I think that was the right call. It wasn't the top of his helmet. It wasn't a spearing action. So good. We move on.
So Preston Stone out for another drive here. 9:41 to play in this first half. He almost has 250 passing yards already in the game. Throws the screen pass. Low, still caught, but stopped immediately is Keyshawn Smith. That's going to be a loss. That's because Julian Simon jumped that route.
It's a great job by Julian Simon, fighting through a block and making a tackle on the perimeter. You've got to be able to do that as a cornerback in today's football with those perimeter passes like that.
2nd and 14. Stone slings it, and that's a drop. Daniels couldn't hold on to it. So you wonder now with this big lead, does SMU start to get a little sloppy?
That's the thing. That's what you got to fight, is kind of letting your foot off the gas a little bit. And hey, we were rolling here, and there's so much time. You got to be disciplined to go out there and still execute within this offense.
Funny you guys say that on the sideline just now. Don't get tired of doing your job.
Well, yeah, that says it all.
3rd and 14. A 3-man rush, so Stone will step up. Wide open. Adam Moore, the tight end. These tight ends are sneaking free down the sideline all game long. A huge pickup for SMU as Stone found another tight end.
And I'm not sure what happened to it. It was a cornerback or Darren Ray, but Preston Stone is not the threat that's going to beat you running the ball. There's plenty of linebackers in there to make that call. Cover your zone.
Knighton with the rush. That last pickup by Adam Moore, 52 yards down the sideline.
Big plays. And just, as I said earlier, wide open guys. It's not like he's having to fit the ball into a tight window. I think it's a combination of some undisciplined play by Tulsa and just some great schemes by Rhett Lashley and company.
Offensive coordinator Casey Wood spends so much time during the week drawing up the plays for SMU. 2nd and 5. Stone on the run, completes it to his receiver Hudson, and he will be stopped inside the 20, enough for a first down.
This is a big boy throw right here by Preston Stone. Rolling out to your right, you're getting chased, defense is barreling down on you, and you throw a strike to the far outside part of the field. Great job.
Now in the red zone. Stone keeps it, slings it over the middle, and he completes it to Keyshawn Smith. If he had hit him in stride, that's a touchdown.
I know, a little bit behind him. A few of the errant throws he's had today.
Ball spotted at the 4. 1st and goal. Handoff Kamar Wheaton. And Wheaton wiggles his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Everybody getting it on the party. SMU pouring it on here in this first half.
You can see the look on Kevin Wilson's face. He did not expect SMU to explode the way they have today, but that's the reality of what's going on.
Rogers, his extra point, up and good. 45 points scored by SMU. We still have 7.5 to play in this first half.
Yeah, SMU rolling in all 3 phases. They get down in close. That run game is just barreling downhill on you. SMU up 45-3.
Just running away with it ever since. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. We're checking on the top 10. Georgia, Florida, that's at 3:30. Michigan is off this week. Ohio State, they've got the night game. How about Oklahoma, number 6? They are down at Kansas, and go to the bottom. Penn State coming off of a loss against Ohio State. They trail Indiana.
Yeah, Penn State, I didn't think looked good at all. I know you agree with me, John, last week against Ohio State, but yeah, how about Oklahoma? I had them at number 5 in my picks. Right now, look, that Kansas team, that offense they run down there is all kinds of wicked. That's tough to deal with.
Anthony Watkins, no running room up front, still trying to bounce it, keeps the legs going, and he somehow managed to pick up 5. You know the coolest thing about the rankings that are coming out on Tuesday, Halloween night? We know they're going to change.
That's right. And that's what makes it fun. Everyone's like, oh, this person's not getting it right, the committee this, but this is the fun, right? Where you get to argue and you get to make your case, and then things change, and that's why everyone loves college football. So much drama to it.
And here's the other great part. This is the last year where we have 4 playoff teams. After this year, we're going to 12. And if you think there's people who are upset about not making the top 4, just wait till we expand it to 12.
I'm glad you said that, because I think there's some people out there, oh, this will fix everything. There'll be no more arguing. No, there'll be more arguing, right? It's great. I think it's awesome.
So I went through the mock selection process here in Dallas, and the middle of the pack is actually way harder to pick than the top 6.
100%, yeah.
3rd and 4, Braxton. And that one is incomplete. He was looking for Williams again. So once you expand to 12, that middle of the pack, where most teams have at least 1, 2 losses, and they've all kind of played the similar opponents, it gets very hard to figure out who are the best deserving top 12.
I agree. When you got in that mix and there's a 2-loss team and you're trying to make a case for why they should be ahead of a 1-loss team, people are going to lose their minds. But I know you've talked about, all the things that go into that, the different factors they look into, but boy, it's going to be exciting.
The second straight 3-and-out by Tulsa, as Angus Davies is on the punt, gets rid of this one. Daniels, the deep man, lets it bounce in front of him, and it'll be down at the 25. Monday Night Football. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Monday Night Football crew will be in Detroit. 5-2 NFC North leading Lions. They host Monday Night Football game for the first time since 2018. When they take on the Raiders and Devontae Adams. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes.
Well, the Lions were kind of the darling team of a lot of folks in the preseason, playing well.
So we do have a penalty flag on that last punt.
During the kick, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, number 9. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. It'll be first down SMU.
So this is the point of the game where we see what you're made of, right? Second half last week, Tulsa, they played the tape, and coaches felt like there wasn't much fight. Now you're down big. What do you show?
Well, it's not just that, but do you let your emotions get the best of you a little bit and, pick up a penalty and you're frustrated, so you shove a guy and just make a bad situation worse. This is where you find out a lot about your football team. If they can, relax and look, what happened has happened. Can't do nothing about that, but can you settle in, play smart football, play disciplined football? That's what Kevin Wilson wants to see right now.
.6:18 to play here in this first half. Johnson is the running back for the Mustangs. Stone throwing down that left side, completes. That's Jake Bailey. He just went up and caught it. That was over Nunu Campbell, getting 17 yards.
Preston Stone, doing what he does, spreading this ball around. Had a lot of guys get receptions.
On the ground, L.J. Johnson finds a hole over that left side. And he'll be just short of the first down. Dane Hodge brought him down.
There's just a lot of gaps that are open in this Tulsa defense. Linebackers need to be in those gaps.
Johnson again. At what point do you start to slow down the game if you're SMU with this huge lead?
I think, you get in the second half, I think, certainly here. I mean, and you don't want to do that too early because you don't want your offense to get all out of whack and get in a bad habit. So I think you do your deal for a while, and then you get into that third quarter late a little bit, then you start to wear it out.
Stone slings it over the middle to Jordan Curley. They are just eating up first downs. That's a gain of 17, another chunk play.
Preston Stone, Don talked about how far he's come in the last month.
Stone with time, flushed out by Kopensky, now changes course, throws it up end zone and gets rid of it out of bounds, incomplete.
And Coach Brett Lashley told us, Preston Stone grew up in the era where he watched some quarterback named Johnny Manziel down here in this area of the country run around and create and extend and goes left to right to left. So there's some of that to his game.
His first half numbers, just bonkers.
Wow.
SMU per completion, they're averaging 25 yards. 2nd and 10. Stone just avoiding the rush. Looking like Manziel out there, back in the end zone. Touchdown, Roderick Daniels. Like they're in the schoolyard, but we do have a penalty flag. Let's see what it's on.
Illegal motion, offense, number 13. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
So that was Daniels who caught the touchdown catch. That is now wiped off the board with the penalty.
That's a shame, because that was just a great individual effort football play. Preston Stone running around, extended. Defensive back, like, somebody get him down. Got to cover him for 5 and 6 seconds.
Stone, little pop pass. That's to Moochie Dixon. Dixon finds his way into the end zone for another SMU touchdown. A 50-piece in the first half. My goodness.
And it's come a lot of different ways, right? I mean, we haven't seen that much today. The little jet sweep, shovel pass, but they just give you so much as a defense you got to worry about, so much you have to cover. Now Moochie Dixon getting in on the fun here.
9th different receiver to catch a pass today, as Moochie Dixon finds his way into the end zone. Rodgers extra point. Bangs in another one. 52 points in this first half for SMU.
Little jet sweep. You know, you're thinking Preston Stone's going to drop back and extend the play, but boom, and that thing gets in Dixon's hands and on the perimeter quick.
Next stop on the Formula One schedule, Mexico City Grand Prix on Sunday. Ooh. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ABC. Our pre-race coverage begins 2:30 Eastern with additional coverage on ESPN Plus and ESPN Deportes at 3 Eastern. You ever been to Mexico City?
I flew in there once. I didn't really get out of the airport, but hers beautiful, right?
It is an incredible city. I mean, one of the most dense cities in the world. But if you love the art scene, there are so many museums and special places to visit. Mexico City, put that on your list of places to go to. Almost 450 total yards in this first half by SMU. And we still have 4:37 to play.
And if you're Kevin Wilson, you woke up this morning not imagining anything like this could happen. I think he felt good about his plan, but he was careful to note that this week. He said SMU can score points and score them early, and they have done just that.
You know, it's almost like SMU is playing with a chip on their shoulder.
They are, yeah.
We've heard all week talk about Tulane. Everyone's talking about Tulane. No one's mentioning SMU. I think after people see this score, the Mustangs will be in the conversation now nationally.
I agree, but I think Rhett Lashley, the head coach, likes the fact that no one's talking about them. But I know for a fact internally he's telling those guys to say, look, no one respects us. No one thinks we're any good. He's content to just rely under the shadows a little bit.
All the players I talked to this week, guys, unprovoked, brought that up. Everybody's talking about Tulane, not us. Yep.
See the standings. 3 teams still undefeated in the American Conference. Braxton not in sync with his receiver, Carl Chester, incomplete. So the top 3 teams in American Conference, let's take a look at their remaining schedule. Tulane, they have Tulsa still left on their schedule, and the big one at the end of the year, UTSA.
Yeah, that's a big one there to close things out. UTSA, a good team, you know, and then week 12, SMU has Memphis. That'd be a tough game.
I mean, think about next week for this SMU team at Rice. Rice is a very good team. Rice just beat Tulsa. They've got a new offensive scheme there. That is not a cupcake game.
And they got JT Daniels, a quarterback he's a former 5-star kid. He's been a bunch of places. He has a ton of experience. You have the McCaffrey kid, Christian's brother, at wide receiver making plays. Rice is tough.
Dump down underneath to Bill Jackson. He'll be 3 yards short of the marker, 4th down. And the punt team will come on for Tulsa. So Davies is on to punt for Tulsa as Roderick Daniels Jr. waits deep at his own 25. Just gets that one away from the rush. Fields it at the 18, reversing course. And Daniels Jr. brought down high at the 22, but we do have a penalty flag in the vicinity of the punter at the 20-yard line.
There is no foul for running into the kicker. The kicker was outside the tackle box. It will be 1st down, SMU.
Yeah, if that punter is moving out of that zone there, let's take a look at it. Yeah, there's no roughing if he gets outside of that protected zone.
And we've seen a lot of schools now go to these Aussie-style punters where guys are kind of rolling out, and that's kind of the way we're seeing the punting game move to.
You are, and the reason teams are doing that is it allows your coverage team to get down the field more. If you can hold that thing off a little bit, it's another 10 yards. Those cover guys can get down and stop a return.
So new quarterback for SMU, Kevin Jennings will come in. Preston Stone, it looks like his day is done. Jennings will keep it himself, and we'll get a tough gain of 1. Kevin Jennings out of South Oak Cliff High School. He, 2 years ago, was the first inner-city high school championship, state championship. They think a lot of this young man. Obviously, he's behind Preston Stone, but he gets some chance to get some quality work here in this first half.
And this is always good. You know, you never know what happens. If you have an opportunity to get some guys, some backup, some playing time, that's a good thing.
2nd and 9, and he is sacked. Owen Ostrowski.
And that's a young quarterback mistake. You get some playing time. Hey, I want to make a play. I want to make a play. Well, sometimes the play is just throw the ball away, but he just keeps waiting for somebody to get open. And Ostrowski comes in and brings him down. That's just a young guy mistake there.
Sacked for a loss of 13. Brings up 3rd and a mile. Jennings trying to direct traffic, decides how to take off, and the turf monster got him and bit him.
Look, this is part of it. Experience. You got to, you know, when things are live out there, you got to settle in and know how to play. No big deal.
Well, this is something we haven't seen from the Mustangs. First punt of the ball game.
Oh, that punter back there had to loosen up.
Ryan Bushevsky will punt this one away to Caden Benjamin. Ooh, just avoided the rush there as Benjamin calls for a fair catch, and we do have a flag down sitting on the 2-yard line.
The only question is it running into or roughing?
Zach Nielsen was the guy who applied the pressure on the punt.
Running into the kicker, receiving team, number 26. That penalty is declined. 1st down, Tulsa.
Yeah, it didn't look like the egregious type here. Comes right up the middle. He's free. Just gets in on that kicking leg a little bit. Tulsa will keep the ball.
Let's take a look at the Fansville College Football Update brought to you by Dr. Pepper. How about some of the other games going on in the American? Later today, Memphis will take on North Texas, East Carolina at UTSA, and Tulane Rice.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great one at 4 o'clock Eastern.
We were just talking about Rice earlier. That's a game to watch right there. Two teams that I think are really, really good in this conference. So go at it.
107 to work with here in this first half for Braxton, and he is sacked. Ahmad Moses got him at his ankles.
Comes off the offense's right side there. He's blitzed, and the running back just can't pick him up. Jordan Ford, poor block. It's a sack.
Jordan Ford. Under 30 seconds to play in this first half.
And Tulsa right now just wants to get into halftime here and regroup a little bit. This has been just not much has gone right.
I have not seen many scores like this heading into the half.
No, got a lot of college football games. Can't say I've been in many of these.
Ford will run out the first half. And SMU puts up 52 points. That is the most by an FBS team before half against another FBS opponent this season. They lead it 52-3. Coming up on the halftime report with Matt Berry, Dan Mullen, and Sam Acho. They will get you caught up on your Saturday in college football from the opening kick.
It does. I mean, SMU is just executing on offense. On defense, it looks like they're playing with 13 guys out there. Guys are just flying all over the place. They're getting the takeaways, but we talked about it before the game. SMU's ability to score big and score quick. We've seen that and more here today.
All right, let's get you caught up on some of the highlights. There were some big plays, one after the other from that offense for SMU.
Yeah, scoring early. This is the second play of the game. Preston Stone finds Brinson on a long streak across the other side of the field. And then from there, it's just been all SMU. The rest of the day, R.J. Maryland, big tight end with a big fourth down catch. He's been a big part of the conversation here today. And there's he had a touchdown later on. Did R.J. Maryland. And then Preston Stone still spreading the ball around. You got more of the backup tight end making catches down the field. A lot of guys are just running around wide open here today. And a lot of folks getting involved. Nucci Dixon on the little shovel pass for the score.
4 players with a catch of 35 or more yards on this offense for SMU. And they're just showing you why they are just so explosive. Preston Stone, we don't know if we're going to see him in the second half because of the numbers he put up in that first half. Really doesn't need to prove anything else for what he did. I guess the big question at the half, if you're Tulsa, did you fire up your team, light into them? What do you say to motivate them to come into the second half?
I think if you're Kevin Wilson, you don't got to light them up because everyone knows what happened here. I think you do give the message, though, of, hey, listen, we're going to find out a lot about our football team here in the second half. We're going to watch the tape after this, and we're going to look for guys who are quitting, guys that are giving a half effort out there. This is an important part of their development as a program.
So Tulsa will receive the ball first to start this third quarter. And we send it down to Dawn.
I'll tell you exactly what Tulsa head coach Kevin Wilson told his team. He said 1 play at a time means even more right now in this game. 1 drive, 1 play, put together some momentum, maybe not for this game, but put together some momentum for the season. Now for SMU, Red Lashley said these are rare, this lopsided of a half, but you can't get sloppy. You have to execute. Wants to see Kevin Jennings have a full half to run the offense, not just hand the ball off. Coach said he's capable of doing what Preston Stone does. He needs some experience.
All right, Dawn, good stuff. We start this second half on the ground. Anthony Watkins. And I like that Kevin Wilson, head coach for Tulsa, is still staying positive, because when you look at their schedule, they do have the potential to become bowl eligible. Put this game aside. It's about building a program and finishing off the season strong.
Agreed. You got Charlotte next week. You know, a game that's certainly in the conversation to win here. You got to stay together as a football team and grow.
Watkins again, rushing forward, gets a few. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down. Kevin Wilson said at 62 years young, I didn't know how many more opportunities would come my way to be a head coach. That's why he decided to come here to Tulsa. As Watkins could not find him. Ahmad Walker, good coverage there on D for SMU.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. You want to run your own program. You want to, look, he's big on being a part of these young men's lives and developing them as people and all that. And yeah, there's an opportunity. I mean, he has the accolades. He has the pelts on the wall. He wanted one more chance to come in and be a head coach and help turn a program around.
It's also interesting, he said, in today's world where everyone's going to the transfer portal, he finds there's so much value in high school kids that people are getting overlooked, as Tulsa will punt this one away. And a fair catch called for at the 30. We'll step aside here in Dallas. SMU, their high-powered offense, comes back and potentially winning the American. But you better start talking about SMU. It is a beatdown, 52-3. It was 28-3 after the first quarter. And the backup quarterback, Kevin Jennings, who came in at the end of the second half, will now have his first drive to start this second half. Handoff is to Kamar Wheaton. And Rocket, we talked about it at the half, how important this is for the backup Kevin Jennings. Quality game reps.
It is. It's important when you have games like this, which you don't expect, but to utilize them, get back up some experience out there. I firmly believe it's why the Georgias and the Alabamas are always so good. They beat teams up pretty good, and they have chances to get their backups in, and when they need them later in the year, they're ready to go.
2nd and 8. Jennings backing up, hit as he throws, but he still delivers a strike. Completes it on the money. 18-yard pickup. After Jennings took a hit, that's Carter Campbell, the wide receiver.
A great job, Jennings, standing strong in the pocket, just moving to his left a little bit, getting hit and delivering a strike. That's a confidence builder for a young quarterback.
On first down, they go back to Wheaton. And Wheaton with a good gain. He picks up 5.
There's a chance, SMU has a stable of running backs. Kamar Wheaton, Jalen Knighton, L.J. Johnson. All those boys are going to get some work here.
We talk about the message of what did Kevin Wilson say to his team at the half. Also, Rhett Lashley. When you have a big lead like this, you want to see your team stay focused and start the second half. Here's Kamar Wheaton. When we talked to Rhett Lashley this week, his message to his team was about this is that part in the season where you got to set yourself up for the home stretch. And he actually gave them to the story of when he was a runner back in high school. He said he ran the 3rd leg of the 4x400. And he said the 3rd leg is that part around that corner where you kind of get forgotten about, right? Like you're kind of in the dark. Your parents are on the other side of the stadium. No one's really cheering from you. But it's so important because you've got to give off the baton to that 4th leg with a chance to finish it off.
Now, I've run the 400, and yeah, that when you're in that back stretch there, that's where the race is won or lost. Because yeah, there's nobody back there, there's no lights in the stadium there, but that's where you got to make your move to get to that last 100 and make the big push. That's what they're doing.
Kevin Jennings with a nice run on 3rd down, picks up 9 yards to move the sticks.
I would tell you, Rhett Lashley knows what he's talking about, too. He actually won state his junior year in high school in the 400 in Arkansas.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Backs up the talk. I like it.
It's a man's race, too, that 400. That's tough.
On 1st and 10, Jennings, he'll throw deep. Almost a one-handed grab by Romello Brinson. That would have been something. Ooh.
Great effort here. Throw it up to your athletic wide receiver. See if they can make a play as they've done so many times today. Getting up. Jumping up high.
Second and 10. Jennings will hand this one off, and Wheaton just gets popped. And Darren Ray with a big tackle to fill up that hole. All right, look at the remaining schedule for SMU as Rhett Lashley talks about rounding that corner coming into the home stretch. Next week, they're on the road to Houston at Rice.
And we've talked about them. Rice is a good football team. JT Daniels, 4- and 5-star quarterback, been a bunch of places. Played well last week.
Third and 10, Tulsa, they send the blitz. It gets picked up by the running back, Wheaton. And Jennings on the run, throws another strike, and another first down. That's to Jordan Hudson. Kevin Jennings shows you how accurate he is on the move.
Yeah. And what a weapon to be able to have that running ability. Things break down a little bit. You can still get outside the pocket, extend, give yourself a clear view of the field. Ability to throw on the run.
Velton Gardner, the running back, but Jennings keeps it himself. He'll be brought down right at his ankles. And that's another first down, picks up 10.
It's just an added element of this SMU offense, too. You wonder, too, if he gets some experience here and shows his running ability, is that another wrinkle you can throw in offensively? You bring in Jennings, and now you got a running quarterback you got to worry about.
10th play of the drive. This is a handoff to Gardner. That's the first time we've said that. 10th play of the drive for SMU. That's because their drives so far have been quick strikes. 52 points they put up in the first half.
Yes, no sustained drives because they've just done the job, especially that man right there, Preston Stone. We talked about his experience, his confidence level he's playing at.
Wow. Gardner will be tackled short of the goal line, marked down at the 1. He picked up 4, but he does get the first down. Jennings had one drive to end that first half. He's looked much better here in this first drive of the second half. He is in control of this offense and is looking at first and goal from the 1. Handoff. Gardner. Touchdown, SMU. The points keep coming for the Mustangs. Their first touchdown here in the second half.
Another nice job by SMU. The leg to Jennings. Some accurate passes in the run game.
Colin Rogers, his extra point is up and good. You know, Vegas wasn't sure how many points would be scored in this game. SMU has beat the prediction all by themselves. Up 59-3. Plenty of time to play here in the third. Hold it. SMU up big here in Dallas. 8:21 to play here in this third quarter. Even though Tulsa's defense has given up a ton of points, their defensive coordinator, Chris Polizzi, is always preaching to them that there's two options in life. You can either keep going and figure out what could happen because you never know what could happen, or you could quit where the outcome is always determined. And he and his wife, Kelly, they're both 41 years old. They've been trying to be parents for a long time. Well, this past year, they actually were blessed with the birth of their daughter, Isabella, 8.5 months old. And he said, you know, we weren't sure we would ever be parents, especially this late in our life. He said, but it's a message to our team. You never know what's going to happen. If you keep fighting, you keep going through things, there's a chance good things can continue to happen. Here's the return here for Benjamin. And he returns it just shy of the 40. Chris Polizzi at 41 years old with his 8.5-month-old daughter, Isabella. And we appreciated him sharing that story with us, and it actually resonated for me. I'm almost 40 years old myself. I don't have kids, and I've thought about this my entire life of what point do I have kids. I've been working on my career. I think there's a lot of people out there who are having kids later in life, and he wanted to share this story with us and also to his players just to show you never know what life is going to throw at you. You got to keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, me and my wife found ourselves in that situation. You know, just you want to have kids and have a family, and sometimes it happens when it happens, and we're blessed, and so is Chris there. Yeah, there's the Boyman family. Yeah, that's our brood right there. Bo, Bronson, and Bryce, 9, 5, and 3. Wife Kelly.
Coach Palizzi also talked about the importance of spending time with family. And Rocky, you played football in the NFL. You're on the road every single week, spending time away from the family. That quality time you do have with your family, it means so much more throughout the week.
It does, and it's hard for these coaches too, because there's so much that goes into this, and there's so many hours. It just has to. It just comes with the territory. So you got to find time to get your family around the facility, and you know, it's just the more times you can do that, and I think having a coach like Kevin Wilson that accepts that is great.
That's complete to Bill Jackson, a first down. And that's what Coach Palizzi was talking about. He said that's what he's loved working for Coach Wilson the most, is that he stresses the importance of family and making sure that families come around the facility. They have family time on Thursdays. And he said he spent 30-minute lunch with his wife and his little daughter. And he said he's going to remember that at the end of the season more than maybe any moment in a game throughout the year.
Great.
1st and 10, Jackson with the rush straight ahead. And maybe that's a story he's going to have to bring up after this game, right? Your defense gave up a ton of points. How you finish out this season is what's going to determine what you're made of. Braxton, and almost picked off. Ahmad Walker had his hands on it.
Ahmad Walker's had his hands on the ball a lot today. He's played well. Almost another champagne bottle.
How many deep are there?
Yeah, I know.
2 interceptions
already. Go to the reserves.
Ball on the 34 on 3rd and 10. Braxton looking to escape. Pocket closing. Incomplete. Trying to find Malachi Jones. And if you're Tulsa, you're going to leave the offense on the field.
Why not at this point? Try to get something positive going offensively.
Timeout. SMU. That is their first.
So SMU wants to talk it over. 4th down coming up. And we come back to Dallas.
Raiders, Lions. Monday at 8 on ESPN and ABC.
Scramble your morning with new Oscar Mayer Scramblers.
Right now, Sonic's small hand mix shakes are $1.99 all day. It sells itself, so I'll just list flavors in my sexy voice. Chocolate, strawberry, peanut butter. $1.99 small classic shakes all day at Sonic.
We're done.
What about these?
Looks right.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty absorbs spills like a sponge and is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Remember college? 5-hour energy got you through then. And now, we'll get you through again. Rediscover 5-hour energy.
Some days, I don't have time to slow down. So sipping on coffee just isn't an option. That's when I turn to 5-Hour Energy. It's my 5-second coffee. Discover 5-Hour Energy.
Take the Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico with classic and Old World pepperoni. Add the sweet heat of Mike's Hot Honey, and you get Marco's Irresistible New Hot Honey Magnifico. A delicious combo of sizzle and drizzle. Try it for only $10.99, here for a limited time.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've got a subscription for streaming movies and music, maybe even one for food.
But what about when it's your water line that's streaming? Repairs are expensive. Good contractors hard to find. A plan from HomeServe is like a subscription for peace of mind. For one small monthly fee, when a covered system breaks, we'll send a qualified contractor and pay for the repair. Why worry? Get HomeServe and chill.
Plans from HomeServe start at just $7.99 a month.
Call 1-888-384-5079 or visit homeserve.com.
Welcome back to Dallas. A key fourth down coming up for SMU. Their offense the last two games. My goodness, 55 last week, already 59 this week, and the starters aren't even on the field anymore.
Yeah, it's been a look. It's been a statement made the last 2 weeks by SMU. And you know, Rhett Lashley talked about how we're kind of under the radar. It's going to be hard to stay on the radar after this.
Braxton scrambling, and on 4th and 10, directing traffic, just throws it downfield. Incomplete. His receiver, Braylon Presley, was scrambling to get back to it. And we do have a penalty flag on the far side, the Tulsa sideline.
Ineligible receiver downfield, offense number 51. That penalty is declined. First down, SMU.
So Tautai Leo Marks with a penalty, but it is declined. So a turnover on downs, second turnover on downs today against Tulsa. Dawn.
Yeah, you guys are talking about SMU and what they've been able to do the last 2 weeks. Rhett Lashley even pointed it out at halftime when I was talking to him. That ECU game was the defining game, apparently, for this offense. He said credit to this offense, the maturity of these guys to not relax, to keep pushing, and that's what he's seen the last 2 games.
Certainly got to be happy, especially that you have your starting quarterback out of the game. You keep him healthy next week. There's a pass by Jennings, finds Adam Moore, backup tight end, and he picks up 7. You know, something that Rhett Lashley said this week that also stuck out, he said a lot of people have been saying we don't have a go-to wide receiver, but they've had 8 wide receivers catch a pass in every single one of their games, 8 or more. He said that's actually a positive for us, and we use that as a recruiting tool. Now that we're heading to the ACC next season, guys will look at us and say, hey, if we come to SMU, we know we're going to play and we're going to get involved in the offense.
Yeah, it's just it's different rules now with the transfer portal. Guys aren't playing. They're going to jump ship and they're going somewhere else. So, yeah, if you have one receiver on the team or 2 guys that are getting all the catches, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th guy's like, well, wait a minute, I ain't going to stick around here. But you create an environment, a system that spreads the ball around. Everyone's happy. You keep high-level recruits. You get high-level guys come in. And today, 10 different guys have caught passes.
It also makes it so hard on the defense, right? Last year, you can kind of key in on 1 or 2 guys. This year, with Preston Stone, he's getting it out to so many different guys. You don't know who you have to key in on.
Look, my role on defense, and every defensive coordinator says it, you know, number 1, take away the other team's best player, right? Take that away, make them win with their 2nd or 3rd best player.
And that was Rashee Rice last year.
Rashee Rice, and teams knew that. As they went down the Rice, we're going to double cover him, we're going to bracket cover him, we're going to have a safety over the top. We're going to make you beat us with your other guys, and they weren't able to do it. So, yeah, now as a defensive coordinator, you're beating your head against the wall at night going, God, who do we take away? There's so many guys. There's 10 different guys that catch balls.
Second and 3 coming up for Kevin Jennings. We'll hand this one off to Kamar Wheaton, and Wheaton, he has broken this one loose. Wheaton is gone. SMU, they're not done yet.
Talk about now with this score being like this, your running backs, all of them can get a bunch of work. Just hand it to Wheaton, let him find the crease, and then the Jets. And it's just, I mean, the other thing you notice more with the ball being spread around a lot of running backs getting involved, is just the depth of this team and how many good players they have all over the place.
Rogers, his extra point is good. 66-3, SMU leads this one in the third. How about kick off your Week 8 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the app. You can go all access with Travis Kelce and Jalen Hurts, plus Adam Schefter with the latest trade deadline news and all that, and all the breaking news stories, injury updates, as well as previews of each game right up to kickoff. We talked about Rashee Rice, and how about a couple of SMU former receivers who will play each other tomorrow? Rashee Rice, Cortland Sutton, both had touchdowns recently in the NFL.
Yeah, and Cortland Sutton, 5 touchdowns on the year, and Rice has 3 with the Chiefs. They're looking really, really good per usual.
And fun fact, Rhett Lashley, the head coach of SMU now, recruited and coached both of those guys in his previous stint here as the OC.
How about that? Rhett Lashley knows a thing or two about talent and how to get it here.
And that's the thing he said also about moving to the ACC. There's so much talent in Texas, but when he recruits guys, they all want to play on the biggest stage. Now that SMU is going to the ACC, he said, we're going to get so many more kids who are going to stay home, play for SMU, because they know in the ACC they're going to be playing the best.
I went through that as an athlete. Yeah, you want to play somewhere big, but you want to stay around home, too. You want your folks and your people to be able to come to the games, and now they're going to have the best of both worlds. They're going to play in a big-time Power 5 conference, and then also, still be able to recruit kids around town.
But he said, also don't forget, we've got a lot of work left to do.
Yeah.
We have not won the American Conference. And even though this is our last year in the American, we still have our sights set on winning the conference title.
It really, really means a lot to Coach Lashley. He's loved being a part of this conference. And yeah, to assemble this kind of talent, I think things are setting up real well for him. They just got to keep playing like they have today.
Bill Jackson, he is pushed back in the line of scrimmage, managed to gain 1. Guys still fighting hard up there. That's Brandon Miazzona with the big tackle. 2nd and 9. Jackson over the left side. He'll be pushed out of bounds. He picked up 4. Well, it's clear for Kevin Wilson, head coach at Tulsa, after this being his first year, he needs to bring in talent, and that's what he's got his eye on, as he's been to so many other Big Ten schools. 3rd and 6. Braxton rolls out to his right. And he was out of bounds as he tried to throw it, but he will be marked out. That's a loss of 3. Finishing up with Kevin Wilson, he said, we're looking for kids who are Big Ten talent, but maybe got overlooked. And then we want to bring them into Tulsa and try to develop them into something special.
Right, and then also in the transfer portal, maybe a guy that got over-recruited a little bit, and okay, maybe they're not at the level of a Michigan or something like that, but now can come to Tulsa and find themselves a spot.
Davies with the punt, backing up, retreating is Jonathan McGill. And McGill gets popped as soon as he crosses the 25. All right, so Tulsa with 3 wins on the season. Let's take a look at their remaining schedule, because they need 3 more wins to become bowl eligible. And you see they got 4 games left in the regular season.
That's right. I mean, I think, Charlotte, it will be a competitive game, I think. And then, there's Tulane. And do you catch Tulane sleeping a little bit? And East Carolina doesn't have a win in the conference right now, so the possibility is still there. You got to find a way to learn something positive from this game and rally the troops and march forward here to those last 4 games.
You've been in player meetings. You've been in locker rooms. What could you say to your team if you're a player on this Tulsa team? I think if you're a player, you just make it known that we can't have any quit. You know, I mean, that's what a great lesson in life. You know, even when the chips are down and things aren't going well, you can't quit. You still every day develop. You still prepare. Make yourself a better football player, and know that the good times can be just around the corner. And it's Felton Gardner on the carry there.
I do think this Tulsa team has some leadership, guys. Braylon Braxton over there. Coach told us about him that teammates gravitate to his personality. I've seen a little bit of that here down on the sideline during this game. The confidence that his teammates kind of get from him. Been watching that. So lots to build on with him, though, because you forget he also missed a lot of practice with that injury. And he's just now getting back with this team.
Dawn, that's a really good point to make on 2nd and 5. Trying to reverse course is Gardner, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. There's look at Braxton. He injured his ankle in the first game of the season. It was the 2nd drive, and when you have that high ankle injury, that's one of those nagging injuries that'll just stick with you for a few games.
It is. I've had that. It's one of those things where you think you're out of the woods, and then something happens, a little tweak, and it comes back. But he looked healthy out there today. I think for him, it's the same message. The thing he's missing is experience. Played well last year as a freshman. This year started off a season, but then missed some games with injury. He's got to use these opportunities right here to get better at his craft.
Jennings on 3rd down will be pushed out of bounds. Under a minute to play here in this 3rd quarter as the clock continues to run. A 3-and-out for this SMU offense. And it looks like SMU is going to allow this 3rd quarter to run out as we have less than 10 seconds on the clock here. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, SMU 66-3 over Tulsa.
Welcome back. 1 quarter to go here in Dallas with SMU head coach Rhett Lashley. Coach Preston Stone done after a half of play. What did you see from him in that first half that you liked?
Yeah, he's locked in. A lot of what we saw last week. He's got a great look in his eyes. He's confident in what we're doing. He's attacking, and he just seems to be in total control of our offense right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, good sub, Dawn, alongside Rocky Boyman. Dawn Davenport on the field. I'm John Schriffen. Preston Stone pulled after the first half because of the lead. And this punt, looks like it went off an SMU player at the 30, will go out of bounds. It's interesting when you talk about Preston Stone. 4-time state champ in high school. Had to sit 2 years behind Tanner Mordecai. Got his opportunity, pressed early. But now, this kid has an understanding of this offense. SMU is dangerous. Let's check out our featured ESPN Plus American Athletic Conference events. Next Saturday, college football game includes Memphis. They host USF. North Texas, they host UTSA. Both began at 3 Eastern. Also getting all-access look at the FAU men's basketball team as they get set to run it back this season. If you're an American Athletic Conference fan, you got to have it. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com/AAC. All right, FAU, getting to the Final Four last year. They've got basically their entire squad back. They could have a shot of really running it back. That's going to be something to watch in the American this year. Carl Chester with the completion for Tulsa as new quarterback in there. Cardell Williams, he's the freshman out of Houston, Texas. He started the 2nd game of the season. That was versus Washington, but he got hurt in that game. That led to the 3rd-string Roman Fuller getting the start in the following game. Jordan Ford on the ground. So Cardell Williams was in and out of the lineup. They used him along with Braylon Braxton. They think he has a ton of talent.
I think he's definitely the better thrower. I mean, he's got the better arm. Same thing with him. It's just even more inexperience. But super talented kid. A lot of make you miss ability. He had a great game versus Temple, throwing the football and running it.
Here's Williams showing you that arm talent. Completes it to Chester over the middle. And a defender is down after the play. Looks like it's Jalen Davis Robinson who is still down on the turf for SMU. So the medical team will attend to Davis Robinson, and we'll come back to Dallas after this. Well, good to see Jalen Davis Robinson walking off the field on his own power. As we welcome you back to Dallas here in this fourth quarter. SMU scored on their first 7 drives of the game. But blow this one open early. Backup quarterbacks for both games are in the game. Cardell Williams for Tulsa. The freshman out of Houston, Texas, looking to throw on first down. And he will run, get out of bounds. Just shy of the first down, picks up 9.
And he can do that. You know, he can run around and quick, make you miss. It's the same story with him, though, as Braylon Braxton. It's about taking care of the football and not putting the ball in harm's way.
Needing to get a yard, they gave it to Ford, and he did not get there. So it'll be 3rd and 1 coming up.
If you're SMU, you like to see, even with this game the way it is, your defense is still, you know, playing hard and coming downhill and making a short yardage stop.
Back to the ground with Ford. And Ford just does have enough to get the first down. And it looks like the ball is out. Wow.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, SMU.
And SMU has the football. Rocky, you said it. This defense is still playing tough.
And of all the things that Rhett Lashley is going to be happy about today, and there's a lot of them, this is another one. Club takeaway strikes again for the 3rd time today. SMU gets a takeaway.
The cheese dog is born. Boom!
If you struggle and struggle and struggle with CPAP, you should check out Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
At Cracker Barrel, 'tis the season for holiday traditions and cinnamon rolls turned pie. Our cinnamon roll pie breakfast is warm, gooey, glazed, and starts at just $8.99. And try our turkey, crispy and country fried. Cracker Barrel, take care now.
Bedtime. Bedtime.
Welcome back to Dallas. So the ruling on the field is a fumble. They're currently reviewing this to see if, in fact, it was the ball came out before the runner was down.
After review, the runner was down with possession of the ball at the 41-yard line. It will be 1st and 10, Tulsa at the 41-yard line.
So the call is reversed. They're going to say Ford was down. And they give him the first down, so Tulsa keeps the ball and a new set of downs. So do you get to keep your bottle? Like, what happens where on club takeaway?
Oh, John, you're more of a club guy than I right now. Do they put the cork in the thing or what?
Hey, once you pop that thing, ain't no putting it back.
Amen, brother.
First down, Williams pressured and is sacked. Jaquandis Burns, a loss of 8. Look at that, what a club on his hand.
And that's incredible because I've played with one of those in my hand, and it is not fun for him to be able to make a play with that cumbersome thing on his hand. Wow. And this defense last year for SMU was kind of a detriment. They gave up a ton of yards. And this year, the complete opposite. A perfect complement to how explosive this offense is.
2nd and 19. Williams keeps it himself. He's got a hole on that right side, and he's got a first down. He shows you what he can do with his legs. Bryce McMorris knocks him out of bounds, but Williams picked up 21.
Well, zone read, pull that thing as everyone collapses down on the run, and boom, the speed to get out to the outside.
Williams swings it to the outside to his running back, and Watkins lowers the shoulder as he's banged out of bounds by Kavaris Hall. I know a lot of backups are in the game right now, but Cardell Williams looks good. He is moving the ball for Tulsa.
He does, and that's important. And as a quarterback, that's what it comes down to. Can you move the chains? Can you move the ball downfield? That's what it's all about. So I think Kevin Wilson and company are going to take a look at that. And see how that determines how that plays in the next week.
And that was the big conversation coming into the game. They had used 2 quarterbacks, and then they said this week, let's just make sure Braylon Braxton knows this is his game. We want to make sure he's the #1 guy. And things did not go according to plan. Penalty flag. Looks like it'll be offsides against SMU. Free play for Williams. And let's see what the call is.
I think SMU was trying to make a change and kind of 2 men on the field.
Offside, defense, number 10, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
David Abiara called for the offsides. So for SMU, 3rd penalty of the game for 19 yards. Tulsa just 2 penalties. So not a very heavily penalized game. You would think that a lot of factors would have played into this lopsided score, but penalties weren't there.
No, but the takeaway sure did, right? That's always the big factor.
2 interceptions thrown by Tulsa in that first half.
1 a pick 6.
Watkins, the run up the middle. Isaiah Smith with a strong tackle. Again, a 4. Well, this defense for SMU pitched a shutout last week. They've managed to keep Tulsa out of the end zone so far. You know they want to keep that streak alive.
And if you can do that with some of your non-starters in the game, that's big. Again, can't tell you how big it is to get guys on the field, get them playing time, get experience. That way down the stretch, you're making the run, and somebody gets injured, you can throw someone in the game that's played in some games.
2nd and goal. Swing pass, touchdown, Tulsa. Caden Benjamin. A 5-yard touchdown score. And Tulsa finds the end zone for the first time today.
I think that was Abdul Muhammad, the defensive back for SMU. As he was trying to come off the wide receiver, just slipped and went down the ground a little bit, and that was all Benjamin needed.
Chase Meyer, his extra point is good. 66-10, SMU leads. How about a corn dog? Game day experience here at SMU. Got to go to the food truck. All right, Rocky, on game day, what's your go-to food?
Oh, I usually just eat them. You mean as a player or as an analyst?
No, as a fan. As a fan.
Oh,
not like
okay.
healthy Rocky. I want like the fun football Rocky as a fan.
I've been Chow down on a early morning corn dog. Yeah, what the heck?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm with that.
Usually keep it with the eggs. So eggs are always a staple.
Coming up at 3:30 Eastern over on ABC, 7th-ranked Texas will be hosting BYU. We'll cap the day with Coach Prime in Colorado. They're on their own at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, squaring off against a balanced rushing and a stingy defense. Number 23, UCLA, will host Colorado. Well, if you're wondering, what are the most points SMU has ever scored in a game? 77 happened last season against Houston. So if there's anything still out there for SMU to hit, that 77 number.
Man, that's a lot of points. So is 66.
They scored 28 points at the end of the first quarter.
It's wild. And we talked about it. That's their MO. They get up on you quick. And by doing that, it just takes you out of your game plan altogether. You know, everything you work on for a solid week as an offense, as a defense for the opponent, now is thrown out the window.
Alex Padilla, the third quarterback used by SMU. And we do have a flag.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was first touched behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, we certainly know in a spring game you're going to use all your quarterbacks. Maybe even like an FBS versus an FCS opponent, sometimes you use your quarterbacks. But in a conference game, this is a rare thing to see. We saw the backup quarterback Kevin Jennings appear in the end of the second quarter. Now Alex Padilla getting his first action.
It's been the theme we've talked about with Preston Stone. What did he need? You know, pedigree kid, very talented, need experience.
Ball is out. That's a fumble. That is scooped up by Tulsa's D and rushed in for a touchdown. Julian Simon with the scoop and score. What a blitz by that Tulsa D.
Recovered by the defense, returned for a touchdown.
And Alex Padilla knows he's got to throw that ball away. I mean, look, they're bringing the house. That ball's got to come out of his hand. They can't block everybody.
Was his arm going forward? Justin Lorenz was the guy who applied the hit, forced the fumble for defensive coordinator Chris Polizzi and his unit.
On the field is a fumble recovered by the defense for a touchdown. The previous play is under further video review.
It only has to be moving and coming forward a fraction of an inch.
Our replay official Mark Lawson wants to take a look at this. It was ruled a fumble on the field. And Rocky, is there enough to overturn it?
I don't think there's enough. And to me, it looked like the arm started coming forward as the ball's from the hit, like as he's, you know, as he's being hit and the ball's starting to come out of his hand. But I do believe, I'll go back to it, you know, that the point of video review is it's got to be indisputable video evidence. And man, is there enough to turn that over?
How about Tulsa dialing up a blitz against the third-string quarterback?
Yeah, why not? You know, trying to find something positive to take out of this game.
So the ruling on the field is a fumble as the ball was knocked out of the hand of Alex Padilla.
They usually give the quarterback the benefit of the doubt. If that thing is coming forward even the slightest, it will say it was coming forward and therefore it wouldn't be a penalty, but was there enough to overturn it?
After review, the quarterback had firm control of the ball with his hand coming forward. That is an incomplete pass. It'll be fourth down at the 31-yard line.
So the caller's reversed, and because of the incomplete pass, the punt team will come on for SMU.
And Justin Lorenz is sick right now. Thought he had a big play.
Ryan Berchevsky. And Malachi Jones will call for the fair catch. All right, let's check out today's best moment, brought to you by AT&T 5G.
Yeah, this is, we talked about their fast start. Second play from scrimmage. Romello Brinson hit deep, comes from one side of the field to the other, and sets the tone early. And as I said, that just puts your team, if you're Tulsa, just completely sideways very early in that game. And Preston Stone, just absolutely fantastic today.
You know, a guy who may not get enough credit for this SMU team, offensive coordinator Casey Woods. Yeah. The job that he did, especially with the game plan. There were so many routes that were just wide open today. Big gash plays that Casey Woods dialed up to perfection.
You're right. You don't often see wide open guys a ton, just because the defenses are smart out there. But with this scheme that they run, a lot of stuff is just predicated off the deep ball. So you get the defense kind of scared. We're going to go over our heads here, and then you start crossing the field, and it's a tough scheme to try to defend, as we've seen.
Freshman Cardell Williams at quarterback on 2nd and 6. We'll hand this one off to Watkins. And then Watkins comes up a little gimpy, but he will stay in the game. On 3rd and 3, Williams rolling out on the run. And he tried to find Watkins, but you could just see from Watkins, just no explosion. Didn't have a chance to run underneath that ball. He was gimpy from the previous play, and we do have a flag.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 51. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. It will be 4th down.
Tautai Leo Marks called for the unnecessary roughness. Kevin Wilson's credit, his demeanor hasn't changed.
4th down.
You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't been too hard on his guys, hasn't gotten too high, too low. And he always talks about the fact that this isn't work for him. Yeah. He said, the day that it stops being fun, I'm going to retire. I'm not doing college football anymore. And you can tell this is a guy who just loves coaching young men.
And he loves the game. Now, a game like this is not fun, but you find the small victories in it. You find the things that are starting to click for a player here or a player there, and try to build on that and keep this thing growing. But I agree, going crazy and jumping down everyone's throats. Keep on playing on.
Don, you've been on the sideline. You've noticed him all afternoon.
Yeah, and to Kevin Wilson's credit, too, his team has not quit at all on this sideline. I mean, there's frustration over here, of course. There's disappointment. That's obvious. But, he had told us that he was disappointed in their second half demeanor. He felt like they quit last week in that game. Haven't seen any of that at all down here on the sideline. Team's still together, still communicating, still talking to each other. He told us, and I thought that this was really relevant today, that his message to his team, don't be result-driven, be process-driven. Probably going to use that one again, right?
Yeah.
Mar Wheaton setting up the screen to the running back, and he's got some room. Wheaton into Tulsa territory, brought down by Xavier Lanier. Another big chunk play, a gain of 25.
And this is just tough. If you're Tulsa's defense, this game can't get over fast enough. And you look up and you're like, my God, there's still 7 minutes left on the clock, and these boys are still rolling. 609 yards of offense. Incredible.
So third string quarterback Alex Padilla in for his second drive of the game. Hands this one off to Kamar Wheaton. Wheaton breaks one tackle. He'll be brought down right shy of the 25, a gain of 7. So SMU on their way to pick up their 6th win, 4th conference win, and according to ESPN Analytics, they've got the best percentage to win the American Athletic Conference.
And a big part of that is they don't have to face Tulane, and that's a big part of that schedule. You know, obviously they got Rice next week. They'll have Memphis in a couple weeks, so still some tough teams on that schedule, but I think it's there for the taking, and boy, if they keep playing like this, look out.
2nd and 3, back to Wheaton. Oh, that is just nasty. Wheaton just juked some dude out of his cleats, got 8 and a first down.
Let's take another look at this. This is some fancy footwork here. Coming downhill and then a little juke to the side. Boop. Man, it's good vision.
Back into the red zone, the 6th trip for SMU today. They're perfect 5 of 5 in the red zone today. All touchdowns. Handoff is to Gardner. And Gardner will be brought down inside the 10. All right, so we talked about Kevin Wilson, head coach for Tulsa, what he did after last week's loss. If you're the head coach for Tulsa after this game, do you show them this tape?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not a believer in, I'll burn the tape, we're not going to watch this. You absolutely watch it and learn from things. Learn, you know, technique. Learn, you know, how you maybe were out of position on a play. I think you do watch it. You don't maybe belabor it, you know, but you find certain things that you can take from this and try to get better. Yeah, most teams I've been on, even after a bad loss, coach has never been like, we're not going to watch this. No, you're going to watch it, you're going to let it sting a little bit, and you're going to learn some things.
And Zane Miners, tackled after a gain of 3, sets up 2nd and goal. You know what's something that people may not realize? Coach Wilson actually recruited you when you were in high school. Do you remember that?
I do. He was coaching at Miami of Ohio, and I was at a Miami basketball game, and he came over the loudspeaker to try to get me to come down, which I'm not sure the legality of that or whatever, but yeah, Coach Wilson, he and I go back a long way. He's a fantastic guy.
2nd and goal with Gardner. What was the recruiting pitch like?
Well, I was just, you know, making a case, and God, I don't remember all of it, you know, going back that far, but you know, I grew up wanting to go to Notre Dame, so as soon as they offered, it was like, that's where I'm going to go. But the chance to play for a guy like that, I'll tell you what, years later, I got to go down with my high school. This is in 2010. I was done in the NFL. Got to go down with my high school to learn from Kevin Wilson when he was a coach at Indiana about this new thing that was going to take over college football called the RPO. Never heard of it, and I'm watching this as a defensive guy. I'm like, that's not fair. They're running the ball, but then they're passing the ball, right? So he was one of the originators, of that RPO concept, and that was cool to see that at the very, very beginning. You're talking a decade ago.
Timeout, SMU. Be a 30-second timeout.
So SMU will call timeout on offense as they look at a 3rd and goal coming up with Alex Padilla at quarterback. So the American Conference made some news this week. Army will join the conference, and as someone who covered Army for multiple years, that game day experience at West Point is one of the best game day experiences you experience in all of college football. If you've never been to West Point on a Saturday afternoon, you've got to get there. Army will bring the American Athletic Conference to 14 football members, and this will be an interesting one. That Army-Navy game will not be a conference game. So let's say hypothetically, Army-Navy will play for the conference championship. The following week would be the Army-Navy game.
Wow.
3rd and goal, Padilla throwing. And knocked out of bounds, shy of the goal line, Marcus Shoemaker, the tight end.
So you would play the conference title game for pride, and then you play the next week again for a lot of pride, and we all know how big that game is. I mean, one of the more magical things to watch is watching all the pageantry and everything that goes into that Army-Navy game.
I've seen what Jeff Monken has done building that Army program. I mean, that guy is fantastic what he has built Army into. And Army is going to make waves when they come and join the American, I'll tell you that. Colin Rogers on for a 22-yard field goal attempt. He's good from 42 already today. And he is good from 22. So 2 for 2 today for Colin Rogers. 69 points on the board for SMU. Let's see what's coming up next for SMU. They go on the road at Rice, North Texas, and you circle that one, at Memphis. That is probably their toughest test left in the season.
Yeah, at Memphis, at the Liberty Bowl there, that's going to be a game. You know, Seth Hennigan, that quarterback, he's thrown for 1,900 yards and 15 touchdowns this year. That's going to be a tough game. Catch up for Navy.
Favored in all 4 of those games. They were heavy favorites here today. I'll tell you what, this homecoming crowd, they got to be happy with this result.
Yeah,
28-3 at the end of the first quarter, and it was never a game since.
Well, and Rhett Lashley, as we're looking at him, talked about that was the big theme of this week. You come off a 55-0 performance against Temple. How do we respond? What do we do? Do we kind of lay back and say, boy, we're pretty good, let's look on the next week and all that? Or do you come out and take care of business? And they did that emphatically.
You know what Rhett Lashley's motto is? Happy people win more.
Yeah.
That's what he told us on the call. And that refers to the way he runs his program. They actually have 25 kids under the age of 15. That's across all of his coaching staff.
Right.
He allows them to come to the facility whenever they want to. And he makes it a family experience here at SMU. Because of that, all of his coaches get more time to spend with their family. It's part of the experience. He said, because they're happy, I just think we're going to win more.
It's right. And it's easier said than done, too, because this is a grind. There's so much that goes into it. There's so much money, so much everything at stake with this. And to still find a way to, you know, let people's families be involved. And I think if you make that little bit of investment in that and making that important, that can pay you dividends when you're trying to make a run like SMU is this year.
And Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator, told us, he said, that's one of the things I actually ask when I apply for jobs, because Casey Woods is the son of a former head coach, and his dad, when he was the head coach at South Carolina and other stops, used to bring Casey Woods along with him to practices and facilities. And he said, it's important to bring my kids around as part of the experience. And he said, I'm so thankful to Coach Lashley that he allows that, and that's why a lot of the coaches want to be a part of this coaching staff. And off, still running hard, Anthony Watkins. Banging bodies, and a SMU defender is still down after the end of that one. Looks like it's Bryce McMorris. And Rocky, when you got a game like this, really the only thing you want to think about at this point, making sure everyone goes home safe.
That's it. A little friendly fire there. And it appeared to be on a knee that already had a brace on it, too.
And you see Coach Lashley there in the blue top and the white hat, his arms folded, concerned for his player. As McMorris has now helped back to his feet. 1:35 to play in this ball game. That really, after the first few drives, was never in doubt. Rocky, what was the most impressive part of this win for SMU?
I think, again, part of it is coming off a dominant performance last week and still having the energy and still having the knowledge and wanting the will to win this game and to come out and start hot the way they did. I think that was good to see if you're an SMU fan.
SMU scored a touchdown their first drive of the game. On Tulsa's first drive, they went for it on 4th and 1 and got stopped. And that changed the entire momentum. Bill Jackson to run over that right side. But you still love that initiative on 4th down to go for it, first drive of the game for Tulsa, to try to set the tone.
I think you did. I think if you're Tulsa, you got to make something happen, right? You know you're coming in against SMU, who scores as much as they do, as quickly as they do. You know your offense has been struggling a little bit. I still agree with that call. I know it didn't work out. You got your 225-pound quarterback in 4th and less than a yard. I don't think it was a terrible decision. It just didn't work out. But then, the other side of it too is then after that the floodgates seem to open.
Under a minute to play here in Dallas. The American Athletic Conference record for margin of victory, that will not be beat today. It was 63. That was a game against Memphis and SMU. SMU was on the other side of that one, a game back in 2015, where Memphis beat them by 63 points. So this one will fall shy of that. But to put up 69 when your starting quarterback got taken out really before halftime, that is certainly an impressive output. 3rd and 4, Bill Jackson will have another first down as Tulsa continues to fight. Final seconds. And that'll do it. On homecoming, SMU puts up an impressive 69-10 win over Tulsa. The Mustangs move to a perfect 4-0 in American Conference play. They're now 6-2 on the season. For my partners, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport, our entire ESPN crew, I'm John Schriffen here in Dallas. Coming up on ESPNU, Prairie View A&M will take on Florida A&M. That will be a fun one, and you'll want to stay for halftime of that one. Our final here in Dallas, 69-10, SMU.